DRT technique. DRT stands for dirty, rotten trick. How many of you ladies may have had children in your life that you gave birth to? Well, you know that when children are born and when they're young, they are selfish. They don't care about you. They don't care about your sleep patterns. They don't care about how you feel, whether you're sick or anything else. They are arrogantly just want what they want. So, maybe it's too late for you guys in this class, but maybe you will know somebody else that you will teach this technique to. I did it with my children, and they turned out terrific. And I never had any problems with my son and daughter with drugs or bad grades in school or compulsive sexuality before they were at an age where they could make their own real decisions about life. They were great, and they had a ball. So here's what you do. If you want to, now this works with children from the age that they're able to understand language up until you get caught. And my daughter caught me first, and she was 12 when I got caught. And my daughter was a rat because she immediately told my son what we did. Just like when she decided there wasn't Santa Claus, she went and told him. If she wouldn't have told him at 25, he would have still believed there was Santa Claus. He was scared to death there'd be no more goodies, you see. Well, here's what you do with these little kids. You put them to bed, and the secret is you wait until they are really, really asleep. You rush and you lose. And if your kids are tossy-turny, you may want to set your alarm for 2 o'clock in the morning or something. But you want to make sure they are out like a light. Then you go to their room. Now you do this in a very special way. You know when you're laying in bed, you have a radar at a level that you can sense when somebody's coming in and coming near you in your space, don't you? Sure you do. That's the way Mama Nature gives us to defend ourselves in some way. Well, you have to get under their radar beam. So you get down on your hands and knees or on your belly and you crawl in like a dog in the night. This is war. You crawl up below the level of their body at all times. And like the military, fly under the radar beam. That's what you're doing. Then when you get next to their bed, here's what you say in a whisper, just loud enough they can hear you. You say, "This is Mommy or Daddy. You can hear me, but you won't wake up." Now don't say this is Mommy or Daddy. See if you can figure out which one you are.
I love it.
And say that. This is another house for sale. The ambulance went by. That's terrible. I'll edit that out. God. Well, we have a large elderly community here in this town. Anyway, that one got Crystal for some reason. So you whisper, "This is Mommy, you can hear me, but you won't wake up." And you say that about 3 or 4 times, and then you say, "When you hear Mommy, just raise your hand." Now don't say your left hand, your right hand. Don't make them work at this. Now if their hand is not above the covers, you'll see the covers move as they raise their hand. Now once they raise their hand, you have then effectively changed them from a pattern of sleep into hypnosis. You've brought them out of sleep, you've placed them into hypnosis. Now, you have no more than about a minute, maximum. You ought to stay more safe and stay around 45 seconds to give them a suggestion and compound it. You love school, school is fun for you. All those suggestions that you give these kids are going to go in very, very powerfully. So I'll tell you, the suggestions I gave you with the self-hypnosis technique, you can use a lot of these type of suggestions with the kids. Drugs are dumb, you hate drugs. Things in that order. And you program that one suggestion as many times as you can say in maybe a 45-second period. Then you say, "Now go back to sleep, and you won't remember Mommy was here in the morning. Go back to sleep, go back to sleep, go back to sleep." Then Once more, you crawl out like a dog in the night. Now, when you're crawling in like a dog and crawling out like a dog, you get past their door. In other words, when you go out the door or when you're approaching the door, make sure you're below the level of radar before you get in the doorway. So when you're crawling out, turn left or right, get past the door jamb before you stand up. When you're crawling in, get down on your hands and knees before you get visible in the doorway and crawl in. And then you disappear and you go do whatever you want to do. Now, the frequency that you do this is, when I first started it with my kids, subconsciously they end up looking forward to this, even though they don't remember it consciously. When I first started doing it, I did it 3 nights a week. As long as we weren't going out or doing anything, but that was my goal. I'd shoot for 3 nights a week. And I did that for probably 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
If I was home. But again, maybe it was 1 week, it was only 1 night, and maybe another week I had nothing to do, so I crawled in every night. You see, it was just fun. But after maybe a year or so, you can cut it back like to 1 or 2 nights a week. And by the time these kids are reaching their teenage years, they're so programmed that they're not going to respond to peer pressure. School is going to be exciting for them. They're going to look forward to a wholesome, healthy, happy life. You're going to give them a wonderful gift, a beautiful gift, a chance at and plus you're going to program them for success. I remember the first guy that offered my daughter drugs. She picked one up from the floor and hit him between the nose with every ounce of strength she could find. She was expelled, but she didn't care.
He expelled her because he's the one that was...
Well, yeah, I finally went to school and talked to the principal, and then the guy got in trouble, but, he had a broken nose and a split lip and 2 teeth were gone.
No, she did that.
Wow.
She popped him so hard it was unbelievable. Nobody ever offered her drugs in school again. That was in middle school. And it was funny. I remember when she was about this high. How old is a kid when they're this high? I don't know, but 6-ish? Anyway, no, she must have been younger because she comes out of her bedroom one morning wearing Dr. Denton's. You know the Dr. Denton's with the flap that goes down and the feet are built into it? And she's holding a Raggedy Ann doll. She must have been very young because she had her tutor. We called it a tutor, a pacifier. And she comes out and she's little blonde hair and it's kind of cropped down like this. She comes out. Daddy. Yeah, baby. I had a dream about you last night, Daddy. What did you dream? I dreamt you came in my room and talked to me. Did you like it, honey? Yeah, Daddy, it was nice. Would you like to have it happen? To have that dream again? Yeah, Daddy, it will, honey. Don't worry, it will. And it's fantastic. Cheryl and I used to take turns, so if you have a spouse or something, you split the duty and things like that. And it just, after a while, after you're doing this for a month, you can trip over the rug and make some noise and this and that. Their subconscious mind is so programmed for you to come in there that the radar beam pretty much is accepting this particular thing, but you still want to stay below it. But if your butt accidentally goes up a little bit, they'll maybe think, oh, that's okay, and especially when you start talking. And it's a great technique.
Does this work with spouses?
I was going to ask that question.
Does it work with spouses? Well,
You don't have to do the radar because you're already there.
yeah. Does it work with spouses? It's worth a try. Shirley and I have been married now. This year we're going to be married 36 years. We have been using this on each other for about 25 of the 36 years. Ever since she saw me teaching it in class once, she said, "You rat, have you been doing that to me?" She's a real deep sleeper. So every once in a while I get lucky and it works. I'm not a deep sleeper. I usually catch her when she's doing it to me. But once in a while she slid one in on me when those rare nights that I was sleeping deeply, and she probably heard me snoring the walls off or something like that, and she took advantage of it. So, but you got to be very careful because you really can get caught unless the person is really super, super deep, you see. And it depends on your relationship and how much trust there is. You know, if you're
something positive.
Well, if your husband,
you're going to buy a new car. I mean, not something like that.
But if your husband may have been hiding this bimbo in Cleveland for the last 5 years, and he's scared to death you'll find out, he may not. What are you doing? What are you? This kind of thing. So.
I like Mary Ann's technique.
Mary Ann's reputation has changed